This is a symbol of a genocide that took place in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where 8 million people died. And today, I traveled from Dallas Fort Worth here to Washington, D.C. on the mall, the National Mall. This is a place where the President of the United States came a few months ago to celebrate his inauguration. But today, the place is populated by this bones made of clay and for some of them with some plastic material. The organizers wanted to send the message to the world that there are genocides that are happening somewhere in the world and nobody has been talking about it. We are not surprised that CNN will never come to cover this. And of course it's happening on the National Mall. This is the capital of the world, where we have thousands and thousands of tourists who attend this place almost every minute. But you won't see any big media that is funded by the New York Stock Exchange to come down here and do the coverage. And there's a reason. The reason is because they are fueled by those companies that exploit mines and all kinds of stuff in those countries where these people are being killed. I'm just going to talk about the Democratic Republic of Congo because that is the subject that I know most. I grew up in the Congo. My family was not affected by the war. They were not in a war zone, but I grew up in the west side of the Congo. Here's what I know about this genocide. 8 million people there died from 1993 to 2003. And it happened when the refugees came from Rwanda out of the 1994 Rwandan genocide that took place. They were welcomed in the Democratic Republic of Congo as refugees. But then what's ended up happening is now there is a fight between them and those who are reigning in power in Congo. I mean in Rwanda. I'm talking about President Paul Kagame, his army, his officers, and everybody that surrounds him. Now this genocide that was a random one in 1994 became generalized, and now it's now Congolese because it's happening now in the territory of the DRC. And it's been happening as we speak. Nobody ever stood out there to make an end to it. But we are so proud that this organization, the 1 Million Bones, put all these organizations together to do this display of bones. Tomorrow, they're going to be going into the U.S. Congress to speak to senators. They have appointment with about 100 congressmen to talk to them about this issue. Yes, people will say, why the United States? People will say, well, why not England? Why not France? Well, I'm going to tell you something. In every single country we're talking about genocide, in Sudan, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Burma, and then also in Somalia, America has been more involved than any other country on the face of the earth. They have military, they have companies that exploit minerals and all kinds of goods in these countries. So we can understand the involvement in the United States as far as the foreign policy is concerned. So what these guys are doing is they want to send a strong message to all the lawmakers to make sure they put pressure on the government of the United States, on President Barack Obama, and then also on the Department of State, the U.S. Department of State, to change the foreign policy towards the country that still are violating human rights and citizens' rights. This is a call to dignity. This is a call, a voice of the voiceless. This is somebody speaking out of these bones you see here. These are people who did not know they were gonna die one day, but they were dead because somebody decided to displace a whole village in order to exploit minerals or extract some minerals in those areas. And that's what happened. And it's gonna continue happening if we don't do something. I'm calling to every citizen that is watching me to just not look at me as somebody out of the ordinary just making up a fairy story, but it is a reality that people die. And I am glad that in the very same place we celebrated the inauguration of a president, we are here to talk now about the genocide. And it's going to continue because these people are innocents. They died and they didn't want to die. And today, we're here to speak on their behalf. We are 1 million voices, and we will never tire, we will never stop until the United States of America change policy in these countries. I'm talking about the Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, Sudan and South Sudan, and the country of Burma, and everywhere else where people are going under the tyranny of strong leaders. President Barack Obama said he will support strong governments, not strong leaders. But he's been in the power for, hey, this is the second term. The Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, was in power. She went to these war zones. Nothing had happened. Now we have Secretary of State John Kerry, who needs to do something to stop this. To stop this and create dialogue. To make sure that the Rwandans can come back home. Hutus or Tutsis, they need to come back home under a dialogue, an inter-Rwandan dialogue. It needs to be called. If the United States can take its place and have the boldness to tell President Kagame, stop this and bring everybody back to the table, it's gonna happen. We're gonna continue to speak on the behalf of the voiceless. I'm here at the National Mall in Washington, D.C., and I pay respect to these voiceless people who died, these victims. May God bless us, and may God continue to give us strength to fight for them. Thank you.